Master planning, it's a holistic design approach that we like to use to see the full picture of everything. So we don't zoom in on just one particular area of the project. We see how it could impact not only just that immediate area, but the context beyond that. So using master planning as a tool is very important within our design process because it does set up the tone of the architecture. If there's a brand, we integrate that early on just to make sure that all of the ideas that could potentially come from all of these creative things coming together, it evolves into something that is built.
Initially, master planning is really just a high-level look down onto the site that you're preparing and coming up with ways to fit the uses together in such a way that it's logical, the way that the cars travel through the space, the way the people travel through the space, and the way that the different users within the space, the tenants or the residents or whatever it is, how they move through the space. It's creating a plan that achieves the financial destination that the developer wants to achieve. In addition, creating an environment that the people that are going to be using the space want to be in. I would say everybody comes to us with some level of a vision. In some cases, people who do this all the time can explain that fairly succinctly. Some people come and they sort of have an idea or the seeds of a vision, but they don't even know how to talk to us about it. So we have to be able to really extract out of them what that is in terms that we can both agree on, listening to the client, really trying to figure out what it is they're telling us so that we have a platform to start from. That happens at all different levels depending on who it is we're working with. So really setting the table with information that they're able to give us is really the starting point.
Master planning for us is something that is really important because it drives a different conversation with our clients. It helps them see things in a different light because they may have an idea of here's one use that we think this should happen around this particular use, but we're able to use master planning as a tool and rethink that whole idea and maybe flip it on its side and do 100 iterations, and we'll come up with something that's really special and unique.
As architects, we can build beautiful buildings, but if the people don't experience it the way we experience it, then it's kind of a failure. So I guess one eye-opening experience that I had early on in my career here was with Shops at Highland Village. It was an outdoor open-air shopping center, one of the first ones that we had done, first one that this particular developer had done, so they were leaning on us heavily. We tried to design the architecture of the building so that every time you turned a corner, it was a little bit different, so it kept you moving through the project. We were really proud of the building design that we ended up with because it achieved the goal. Later on, after it was built, we were attending a party at a house that backed up to the project. And I was in a conversation with a small group of people who happened to be talking about it, but didn't know that I had any involvement in it. And the things that they talked about had nothing to do with the buildings. It had to do with the space that they moved through and the experience that they had, and it really opened my eyes to the planning aspect of a development like this, mixed-use development like this, and how people experience, what people experience when they were within the space. Really, the buildings become a framework or a backdrop for that. So it's the space in between the buildings and how we as people experience that space. So it's kind of a backward approach to the design in that you design for the people first, and then the buildings then become sort of the framework, the container, for that experience.
I think the demand for these mixed-use environments are these shared experiences that people want to connect with each other within these spaces, whether it be an installation that you see in an alley that is you're like, what is happening over there? This curiosity that people are having, I think, is driving people to these spaces, and having some sort of purpose and having some sort of programmable outdoor space is also something that's really nice to see in these mixed-use environments, because it drives people together. It brings them, creates these memorable moments.
One of the things that everybody wants if they're doing a development like this is to make it a little bit different than the one that's close by or that they're competing with for, tenants or residents or whatever. The moments that you experience within the space are somewhat critical towards making it different. A lot of the developments that we are involved in, it's creating those little nodes along the way where you and I can sit down, have a conversation, have a cup of coffee, and just talk and have an experience there. Placemaking aspect comes in by combining the thing that's going to make you want to be there with these other little spots along the way where you can sort of create your own experience, whatever that might be, whatever that is to you.
If you're creating these spaces, you have to experience architecture. So part of it is myself. I've gone out and gone to these places, gone to new restaurants and new mixed-use developments, just to experience the scale, the proportions, what works and what doesn't work. And so experiencing architecture at different scales is very important in learning how this could actually translate into something that we are working in-house.
Every project's different, but I think it's something that everybody can relate to. You don't have to convince people that trees that provide shade and texture and color different layers of landscaping is good. You don't have to, inherently everybody has a sense for that and a feel for that. So you don't have to really convince them. It's just convincing them that you can do it all in such a way that really elevates their experience while they're there. Creating space and incorporating things within your space that allow you to have an experience that may change every time you're there. And I don't know, there's no magic formula to that. It's just how it evolves as you begin working with the plan and with the developer. So it's a little bit of variety, a little bit of change in the elements, so that no matter what day you're there, or how you feel that day, or who you're with, you still have the opportunity for a good experience.